thank you very much for coming here. It's wonderful to see such a big group out here to be at this news conference. And I will just immediately turn it over to our Diocesan Administrator, Father Francis Dobzhansky.
Again, welcome. Usually we wait until Christmas for news of great joy. We'll anticipate this between the third and fourth Sundays of Advent. Once again, God, who is never outdone in generosity, has been generous to us and provided us, after our fervent and long prayers with the bishop, Bishop-elect John Doerfler.
Good morning, everyone. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm the new guy. And thank you so much for coming here and for your warm welcome. I'm indeed honored to be here, and it is a great privilege to be chosen to serve as the Bishop of Marquette. I have a little statement I'd like to read. And after that time, we'll open it up for some questions. With great joy, I greet you, the people of the Diocese of Marquette. It is truly a privilege to be appointed by our Holy Father, Pope Francis, to serve as your bishop. The UP is familiar to me. Though I have not cross-country skied in several years, I used to come here in search of snow when the snowfall in Green Bay was insufficient. For some reason, I no longer think that I will be concerned about a lack of snow. I enjoy outdoor activities, especially hiking and bicycling, and I hope that this summer, some of you will introduce me to your favorite hiking trails. Though first attracted to the UP by its natural beauty, I now have the opportunity to experience the beauty of the people of faith in this diocese. One of my priorities is to come to know and love you. I ask for your help, though. I am somewhat challenged when it comes to remembering names. So please have mercy on me and my poor memory and keep reminding me. My other priority is to share with you my joy in and my love of Jesus Christ. Early in my childhood, I came to know and love Jesus. For this special gift, I am grateful to my parents, Henry and Germaine, for passing their faith on to me. My personal encounter with Jesus Christ led me to be active in youth ministry when I was in high school because I wanted my high school friends to know Jesus too. This growing desire drew me to the priesthood, and what a joy it is to spend my life bringing people to Jesus. Pope Francis speaks of this joy in the opening words of his recent apostolic exhortation, and I quote, "The joy of the gospel fills the hearts and lives of all who encounter Jesus. Those who accept his offer of salvation are set free from sin, sorrow, inner emptiness, and loneliness. With Christ, joy is constantly born anew." End of quote. Filled with the joy that comes from Jesus, inspired by the recent apostolic exhortation of Pope Francis and his selection of me to become the 13th Bishop of the Diocese of Marquette. I choose for my episcopal motto, Evangelii Gaudium, or in English, the joy of the gospel. Now, commenting on the Holy Father's apostolic exhortation exceeds the scope of my comments today. The document is over 200 pages, and you and I would be here a long time if I did that. Yet I look to Pope Francis, his example, and the framework he has outlined in Evangelii Gaudium to guide the episcopal ministry entrusted to me. Together, may we be filled with the joy of knowing and loving Jesus. Together, guided and strengthened by the Holy Spirit, let us set the UP ablaze with the fire of God's love. I emphasize here the word together. I cannot bear the charge to proclaim the joy of the gospel alone. Jesus Christ ever takes the initiative in this work, and he calls us to follow him, not as individuals, but as a community of faith. Together, as the local church of the Diocese of Marquette, let us follow Jesus and invite others to join with us. With gratitude, I acknowledge the faithful bishops who have served this diocese, especially the Venerable Bishop Frederick Barraga. I pray that his apostolic zeal may be passed on to me. My most recent predecessor, Archbishop Sample, as well as the other bishops who have so faithfully served you, will be my examples, and I hope to follow in their footsteps. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the diocesan administrator, Father Francis Dobzhansky, the diocesan curia, the priests, deacons, religious, lay ecclesial ministers, and faithful of the Diocese of Marquette. Thank you for your commitment to Christ and for your engagement in the church, especially during these months of the vacant see. The Blessed Virgin Mary holds a special place in my heart, and to her I have consecrated myself so that she may continue to lead me to her Son Jesus. May Our Lady of Good Help ever come to our aid and lead us to the fullness of joy found in the faith in her Son. Finally, I acknowledge that I am a sinner with many failings. I ask for your prayers, your patience, and your understanding. From December 30th to January 6th, I will be making my retreat in preparation for my episcopal ordination. Please pray for me at this time, that I may be spiritually prepared to serve you. To conclude, I wish to reiterate the invitation of Pope Francis from Evangelii Gaudium, and I quote, "I invite all Christians everywhere at this very moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ, or at least an openness to letting him encounter them. I ask all of you to do this unfailingly each day. No one should think that this invitation is not meant for him or her, since no one is excluded from the joy brought by the Lord. The Lord does not disappoint those who take this risk. Whenever we take a step toward Jesus, we come to realize that He is already there, waiting for us with open arms. End of quote. Thank you very much.
Do any of the news reporters here today have any questions they would like to ask Father Doerfler? Tom?
What did Pope Francis see in you to select you?
I think you'd have to ask him that question. Yeah, I don't know if this came as very much a surprise to me. I would not have dreamed that I'd be here to serve as a Bishop of Marquette. So when I received the phone call from the Papal Nuncio, it was quite a surprise. So you might ask the Pope that question.
Was somebody pushing for you?
Again, I would have no idea.
What are some of your immediate challenges you see in the diocese?
Yeah, I think some of the immediate challenges might be, when I move in, trying to remember what drawer I put my black socks in. So whenever you come someplace new, it's always something to just get settled. But seriously, I'm just really coming to know the diocese, and I really look at my first obligation is to come to know and love the people. That's my obligation, to come to know and love the people, and I will work very hard at that.
Bishop, will you come to know and love the students of our Catholic school?
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and I'm not a bishop yet, so father right now, bishop-elect. But yes, I have a deep love for Catholic education. When I served as a parish priest, both as a parochial vicar or as an administrator of a parish that I had for 5 years, both parishes had grade schools, and I love going to the grade school. If you're ever having a bad day, just go to visit the kids.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Father, you refer to your folks, your parents. Do you still have both of them?
My father is deceased. My mother is still living.
In Green Bay?
In Darboy, Wisconsin. So I'm born and raised in Appleton. My brother and his family live in Darboy, which is right outside of Appleton, and my mother lives with my brother and his family.
What do you like most about the Upper Peninsula?
Well, it's a beautiful place. I love the outdoors. That's kind of been my experience of the UP. So I tend to think of the UP in terms of vacation. So the Courier staff might have kind of a hard time trying to find me, and, I might just wander off someplace, and, who knows, but.
Since you are from the Green Bay area, just one of the questions of maybe not faith, but at least loyalties in our area is Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers.
Here we go.
That's a loaded question.
Are you prepared for the possible conflicts within the folks that we come to? How do you address that?
Can I plead the Fifth Amendment?
Maybe you had some thoughts for the fans of the Lions this morning.
Certainly coming from the Green Bay area, I'm born and raised a Packer fan, and that comes from.
I live in Michigan now.
But I understand the loyalties are kind of split up here. Is that my understanding? And so I think the point. For any bishop is to try to heal divisions. We'll see what I can do. This may be one of those great challenges that you talked about. So we're just going to see how that goes.
Father?
Yes.
You quoted the Pope a lot in your statement.
Yes.
What ways are you like the Pope?
I wish I was like the Pope. Anyway, I find him a very impressive man. He has such He has such joy. He has such love for the people that just shows forth whenever you see him or you listen to him. When you look at his writing, he talks like a pastor. He really talks like a pastor and is very much rooted in that pastoral ministry. So there's very much that I admire about him. I'm not sure how much like him I am. I'd like to be like him, if that makes any sense.
Other questions from the reporters here?
There's just something else I'd like to mention if that no one's asked. If anyone Googles my name, which people do that, right? One of the things that will come up is a deposition that I gave in a lawsuit against the Diocese of Green Bay. So I just want to comment on that. I just believe in being open and and above board. So I just rather have you all know this right up front. So you'll probably see the deposition if you Google me. One of the things that you won't see is that in the course of the trial, the judge decided that the records policy of the Diocese of Green Bay sufficiently safeguards the records of clergy sex abuse. So that's not necessarily so apparent, but I just wanted to clarify that's what the judge determined in the course of the trial, that the records of the Diocese of Green Bay sufficiently safeguard the records of clergy sex abuse. And if any of you want more information on that, I'm sure Laureen would be great very helpful in getting that information to you. I also want to say something very directly though to the victims of clergy sex abuse. Know that the doors of my heart are open to you. In the course of the last years, I have met with several people who have been abused by priests, and it's just an awful, horrible thing for anyone to go through. It's an awful, horrible thing, and I've spent many sleepless nights worrying about and concerned for those who have just experienced this horrible tragedy in their lives. And so I just want you to know the doors of my heart are open to you. If you want to come in and talk or meet me someplace and talk, I'd be very happy to do that, because the doors of my heart are open.
I would just like to mention to the news media that if you would like another photo opportunity today, that Bishop-elect Doerfler will be visiting Father Marquette Elementary School at somewhere around 1:30, I believe. So if you'd like to come over there, I hope, Jackie, that's okay?
Perfect.
Way better. So if you'd like to come over for a photo, you are certainly welcome. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank